Hi, I'm Kenny Joya. Welcome to another one of my tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you a MIDI note properties in Reaper. Now the idea of MIDI note properties is to give us a dialog box where we can edit or just view our MIDI notes, as you'll see. So a track in front of me here with some drums, a piano, and a pad. Let's hear it. So let's say I want to edit a drum part. We go over to it, we double click it, and it opens up in the MIDI editor. So right here, we have the kick part, then the claps, our snare, and a hi-hat. So if we want to edit these, we normally select them, move them around, change note, change the position, just by dragging them around. But we could also change it with the MIDI note properties dialog. Let's put this back, and let's select this first kick hit. Then we can right-click it, and go down here to the note properties. We could also select this with the keystroke right here. So let's open it up, and the dialog looks like this, where we could see what note we played, the channel, the velocity, the off velocity, the position, and the length. And we could also change it from here. So if we want to change the note from C4 to C#4, just apply it, and it changes it to that note, which is a different kick drum. And we could put it back to C4. Hit apply, and it applies that change. We could change the velocity. It's 65 now. Let's change it to full up, or 127, and then apply that. Now the kick drum is hit a lot harder. We could change the off velocity. If your sound uses that, we could change the position. Let's say it's out of time. Move it over here. We could switch it back to exactly bar 3 and apply it, and it goes right there, which is great for lining up notes all to the same spot. And then finally, we could change the length. Right now it's 1 beat, but we could change it to something shorter or longer. Now, where this gets powerful is when we edit multiple notes. So let's right-click the kick drum, and that selects all the kicks. And if you notice over here, it blanks out a few of these boxes. That's because each one is different. But we could still change it if we want to. They're all set to C4. If we want to change the kick note to C#4, we could do it all right from here. Apply it. Now we're using a different kick sound. We'll change it back to C4. We could change the velocity of all the notes right here. If we want it to be full up, make it 127, and then all the notes will be full up, or full volume. Or to something like 64. To get the perfect volume for all your kicks. Now we're probably not going to change the position, but we could change the length. If you notice right now, they're all different lengths, but we could change that. We can make them all the same length and make them shorter. Like this. Or longer. Like this. But where this gets even more powerful is that we can change the value relative to where it starts. So for instance, with the velocity, we can make it a little bit louder. Maybe add 10 to it. So hit plus 10. That's going to change the velocity of of every note plus 10. So it gets a bit louder. or quieter if we put -10. We could also multiply or divide it. So if we multiply it by 2, it's going to double that velocity. Or we could divide it. So if we divide it by 2, it cuts the velocity by half. But it's all relative to where it started. And we could also do it by percentages. So if we multiply it by 90% or 0.90, the velocity is going to be 90% of the original value. Or 110 if we multiply it by 1.10. So we can use a percentage in that way. And we can do the same thing with the length. If we want to cut it in half, just divide it by 2, and it cuts the length by half relative to what it was. Or we could double it by multiplying it by 2. So it's very useful to change all these notes all at the same time. Like we could choose the hi-hat and just change the note by right-clicking it and changing the note to G sharp. That sounds like this. And now it's a shaker. Change the velocity to 75%. Or 125%. Or change them all to one value. Making their velocities more even. Let's switch to the piano so I can show you a few other things. Double click this. Here's a piano part. And let's select it all, right click, and go to the MIDI note properties. And let's transpose this to a different key. So on the note, let's go +1. And now we're in a different key. Or -1. We could also change the octave. So we can go +1, O for octave. And that'll bring it up a full octave. Or down an octave. Or up an octave. And 2 semitones. And again, it's great from this window to change things like the velocity. Let's cut it in half. Or double it. Change the position to be a bit later. Or a bit earlier. And change the length to be a constant. Or just a bit shorter. So right now, each note extends to the next note, so it's very legato. But we could shorten it just a bit by changing the length and multiplying it by 0.95. So that's 95% of the original value. So as you can see, it's pretty useful for changing or editing multiple notes at the same time, whether it's the notes, the velocities, or the position or the length. So that's pretty much it. That's the MIDI note properties in Reaper. I hope you learned something. I hope you can use it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.